Hello, everybody. Today's topic is the Cold War. To start us off, let's get going with the joke of the day. What is the worst animal to play cards with? A cheetah. Yes, sounds like cheater. Yeah, okay. Here we go. The key concepts for the day include what did people think about communism and how did it affect people of the United States? And then how did HUAC help people during the Cold War at home? Moving on, key vocab, couple of them today. McCarthyism, and they'll touch on that at the end of the notes, and then Alger Hiss. Those are a couple of the key words for the day. Because of Hitler's dictatorial reign in World War II, the United States was afraid of becoming a communist country. One of the steps taken to investigate public employees and fire those who were disloyal to the United States was the Loyalty Review Board. This caused some people to resign because they felt it violated their constitutional rights. And this is the only the start to communist investigations. These actions were known as the Executive Order of 1947. Next, HUAC, or the House of Un-American Activities, which you see the picture of on your right there, was created. This committee investigated communist influences in movies. There were some people who strongly disagreed with these actions, specifically the Hollywood 10, a group of men who didn't cooperate with the communist movie investigations. Meanwhile, the government created a blacklist, which is a list of people who were suspected of having a communist background. As Hollywood tried to get rid of communists, Congress passed the McCarthy Act. This act made it illegal for people to plan an action that would be considered an act of communism. Not only were there communist suspicions in the United States, but the government was also afraid of spies in the United States that were from the Soviet Union. In 1948, Whittaker Chambers accused Alger Hiss, the guy in the book cover on the right picture there. He was accused of spying for the Soviet Union and was thrown in jail by Richard Nixon, who eventually became the vice president due to all the fame he got from the trial. A second trial that should be mentioned is the Rosenberg's trial. The trial started when a German physicist, Klaus Fuchs, admitted to giving the Soviet Union information about America's atomic bomb, which enabled the Soviet Union to develop their own nuclear weapon. Along with Fuchs' case, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, activists in the American Communist Party, were asked if they were communists and they denied the charges against them. They claimed that they were being persecuted because they were Jewish, but eventually the Rosenbergs were found guilty and sentenced to death. So what we've seen so far is that there is truly a Red Scare happening in the 1950s. This happened in the 1920s, but eventually the Great Depression kind of took the United States' attention away from the Red Scare. In the 1950s, the Red Scare is back like we've seen so far, and we see that kind of fear and people trying to deal with that fear like we do with this gentleman right here, Joseph McCarthy. Joseph McCarthy is an important man in the Red Scare 1950s era. He's a senator who is desperate to get reelected due to his bad reputation in his first term. And the only way he thought he would be able to get reelected was charging communists, or people he thought were communists, that were planning on taking over the government, according to him. He started to accuse people of communism even when he didn't have any evidence in doing so. These misaccusations became known as McCarthyism. At one point, McCarthy even accused the United States Army of being communist. That's a no-no. You don't do that. And that's when he fell out of power, fell out of favor, and he ended up being a kind of dying an alcoholic. Kind of a sad end for Joseph McCarthy. We end on that note. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye.